Knoob, Knoob, Knob, Knobs, Knobsy, Knoop. Ah, it's Numsy Plays. So what's on the menu, I hear you asking me? Well, today's menu, it includes a clan boss with not one, not two, not three, but four forms. Four entire forms that you have to deal with. That's right, folks. It's time for the basics of Chimera. What does the Chimera do? What does it look like? How do you fight it? Well, so as I said, there's four forms in the Chimera fight. There is the ultimate form, the ram form, the lion form, and the viper form. What do they all do? Well, let's first have a look at some of the rewards. The rewards for getting the top chest of Brutal Chimera are crafting materials, relic crafting materials, Starstone, clan experience and clan gold, gems for you to put into your relics, and a 2-star basalt. Maybe. You know, it can be up to 7 of the following rewards. And I think Brutal or Hydra is the first time you get Embrys Fragments. Embrys, the mythical champion that is absolutely fantastic. Everybody loves Embrys, though he has fallen off a little bit with the Mercurial gear set influx. He's still really strong, and he's still a really, really good champion to bring into a PvP fight. So yeah, there's good rewards in the Chimera. Don't talk about the Chimera Clash. Nobody likes the Chimera Clash. Everybody doesn't want to do the Chimera Clash. Well, some people do. Some people really enjoy the Chimera Clash, and they do see the benefit. There are extra prizes, extra rewards for competing in the Clash of Chimera. Some extra pieces, which is good, but it's not worth all of the hassle of all of that. Anyway, that's completely aside from what I was kind of talking about. The main idea and the main goal of this is to have a very kind of broad, basic look at the Chimera and what it does and what I worry about when I'm fighting the Chimera as my teams. So, as a kind of brief overview, the ultimate form is the base form. It's the first form that the Chimera starts in. The Chimera then, after 5 turns, transforms into the ram. After 5 turns in ram, it transforms back to the ultimate form. After that, it transforms into the lion form. 5 turns back to the ultimate form. 5 turns into the viper form. 5 turns into the ultimate form, and then it repeats that process again. And the total fight is 65 turns maximum, 65 boss turns maximum. Now, sometimes if you have a really speedy team, you can reach the 1,500 turn limit. It might be 1,000, I can't remember exactly for Chimera anymore. I don't have Senna, so I don't ever reach the maximum turn limit. So what does the ultimate form do? Well, it can provoke you, but the main thing that concerns me when I'm fighting the Chimera in the ultimate form is the buff strip that it does. It strips all of your buffs off, and the damage that it inflicts to you increases by 10% for each debuff the Chimera takes off you, which is wowzer, right? Is there a maximum? No, there isn't a maximum. So it can do huge damage to you if it strips your buffs. So that's the main thing that I worry about in the ultimate form. Then the Chimera flips into the ram form, and well, the ram form will put a dual DUEL dual debuff on your champion, one of your champions, and it's the champion that has the least crit damage that is targeted by the dual debuff. And if you've ever been looking to find out what the dual debuff does, well, you'll be thankful to know it doesn't say it anywhere in the Chimera strategy section, but basically it works as a provoke on your champions, and it makes it so that your champion that has the dual debuff only does its A1s in the fight for the duration of the debuff being on them. Do I worry about the dual debuff so much? Not so much. Like, I run a couple of different teams, but I don't worry about the dual debuff too much. The main thing that I worry about is my damage dealers killing themselves because of the reflect damage that is there from this ram debuff. This ram form in Chimera. So that it has a damage reflect, and the more damage that you do to it, the more damage that gets reflected to you. But you'll be happy to hear there is a workaround, and the workaround is the fear debuff that you can place on the Chimera. If you place a fear debuff on the Chimera, the reflect damage drops from 25% to 10%. And if you get true fear on it, the reflection goes to 0%. Now, I personally don't run a reliable fear so much in my teams. I do have Lydia, but I don't have a 4-star Ascension on her, so it's not so great. But getting fear on it constantly with my team isn't such a good or a possible thing for me, so I limit the damage my damage outputters do in the ram phase. And again, I use the team presets to set my champions only to do their A1s during the ram form. And this is the good thing about team presets. In the Chimera team presets, and I'll show you there, in the Chimera, oh, don't go to my champions. In the Chimera team presets, if you go in here, you can do this and say, okay, so in the ram form, I don't want you to do any of these skills. No skills for you, only do A1, right? Lady Mikage, don't do this. Don't do this. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, so you get the idea. You make your champions only do A1s for the ram form. And that just means that your champions, the damage that you do will be less, but you don't have to revive your DPS champions every 2 seconds. If you're running like 3 champions who revive, then maybe it's worth dumping all of your damage into it. But that's what stops me, and so I don't do it so much. So the next piece of the puzzle is the lion form. And what does the lion form do? Well, it's all about survival, really, and pushing out your damage where you can. The lion puts Hunter's Gaze on one of your champions, and the Hunter's Gaze, it's placed on the champion with the highest defense for 3 turns, can't be resisted or blocked. If you try and remove it, it activates its A1 skill against that enemy. The A1 is the Annihilation Crew, which attacks one enemy 2 times, 50% placing True Fear. After the initial attack, has an 80% chance of hitting again against a new target and repeats against all remaining targets. The chance to repeat the attack lowers by 20% for each subsequent target. So it can just chain its attacks, and there's a lot of damage incoming to you. The A2, it places debuffs on you, decreased defense, block debuffs, it ignores block debuffs, it then debuff spreads, places weaken, and then attacks all enemies except the initial target. It's all super damage. The main thing here, this antagonizing roar, if it kills somebody with this attack, it grants the Chimera an extra turn after doing that. So it's very quickly, it can turn very quickly into you actually losing your whole team if it chains damage together like that. But generally speaking, if you have enough defense, if you have enough hit points and heals, you can get through it and push your damage while the Chimera is in this form. And next up, we have the wonderful Viper form. The Viper form, for me, the main thing that you need to be worrying about is removing the poisons, removing the debuffs from yourself. You can lock out the Viper skills with lock active skills. And then if one of your champions dies, the Viper actually applies necrosis stacks. You might actually be familiar with this from Embrace, the champion that you can get from doing Chimera. He brings the necrosis stacks as well when an enemy dies. So the Viper pops this wonderful debuff on you and does damage to your team. More damage for the more champions that are dead. It will also block your first attempt to revive any champions that have fallen over and can't get up. Now, if you cycle through your skills and get through to another revival attempt, it will work the second time. But again, if you revive everyone and then somebody dies, it will then block the first attempt to revive again. So it's something to be aware of. Block debuffs, cleansing, lock active skills. Again, it's survival. It's making sure that you keep yourself topped off so that you're not going to, fall over. And you should be able to push the damage again in the Viper form. So what are you looking to bring into a Chimera fight? I mean, people who are just starting, bring your best team that you have. Bring your level 60 champions into the easy mode and see if you can get to the top chest. Bring your level 60 champions that are geared, that have skills, that maybe might synergize well together. Whatever you have, bring it and try and get the top chest. And once you start getting the top chest of easy and normal, you can start maybe looking at fleshing out your roster and starting to kind of build a team that will take you through to the higher stages of Chimera. But the main things to be looking out for is champions that can block debuffs and or cleanse. You want somebody who can heal. You want some lock active skills if possible. It's not the end of the world if you don't have lock active skills or block active skills. It's okay. You're only aiming to get to the highest chest you can do. You're not aiming to break any records. If you can bring fear or true fear, that's another thing that's going to really help you. And of course, you need to bring damage. And the champions that you can bring, so if you can bring a champion that brings block debuffs, cleanse, heals, and fear, I don't even know if there's a champion that exists that does that. But if you can bring a champion like that to the fight, then you cover a lot of the must-haves for the fight, and you can bring other champions that do other things, can do extra things. Another thing that I forgot to mention there, you need to bring decreased defense and weaken, right? Decrease defense and weaken, ideally, just so that you can increase your damage output. So yeah, block debuffs, cleanse, heals, block active skills, fear, decrease defense and weaken, and you should be on the road then to getting started in Chimera. What? Nubsy? Nubsy plays? Thanks, bye!